All right, I want to give you a quick rundown of Lesson Launchpad. It would probably take me an hour to tell you about everything Lesson Launchpad can do, but I'm going to try to fit it in about 5 minutes here. So Lesson Launchpad is a lesson presentation and automation tool. You can see this is what would appear on your screen as you're teaching. This is where you're going to have your content, your agenda. Over here, I've got a Google Slideshow. Up at the top, I've got a scrolling marquee. You can turn this on or off depending on if you want it. You can use that for announcements, objectives, whatever you want to use it for. Or, like I said, you can make it go away and just have more screen real estate. You also can have a clock up here in the corner with the date, the time, whatever you want to set it. There are multiple options there. So, in terms of content on the screen here, like I said, this is an agenda box, and this is a Google Slides box. There's all sorts of different box types that allow you to add different content. There's a basic text editor, there's the agenda box, Google Slides, Google Doc. So if you want a sheet or a Google Doc in there, you can add that. If you have stuff in Canva, you can use a Canva box. So I want to emphasize that if you're already using Google Slides or Canva, we also have a PowerPoint box over here. If you're already using any of those resources and you've already prepared all that, great. You can just use Lesson Launchpad as a wrapper and you can get all of the other benefits of Lesson Launchpad without having to reinvent the wheel and recreate all of your content that you've already created. So you can see some of the box types here, a web box where you can embed a website, and the new Spotify box. If you're a Spotify user, you can have your music going. And so those are the different box types. You'll see down here I've got various templates. You can also create templates out of any of these boxes. So that way you can quickly, reuse something that you like. So if there's a text editor box and you set it up a certain way that you like, you can create a template out of that and reuse that. So I also want to show you here that you can create content for each day. And so down in the bottom right-hand corner, you see it's set for August 28th. And if I go to August 29th, I get a completely different screen. The announcement for this day is the same, but you'll see now I've got a new agenda. I've got other different things over here, and I can do that for every day of the year, and recreate new content for each day. I also want to tell you really quickly about some of the automation features because that's really the secret sauce behind Lesson Launchpad is the automation. And so what I mean by that is Lesson Launchpad is going to automatically do a lot of stuff for you. For example, if you set start times for your classes, Lesson Launchpad is automatically going to change your screen at that time. So if you're out in the hallway having to monitor students, Lesson Launchpad is going to automatically switch your screen to that next class, so that way you don't have to go fiddle with the computer. Some of the other automation features, and I'll just show you on the screen where you add them over here. This is where you set up your classes. But some of the automation features, auto countdown timers. So what this is going to do is it's going to automatically pop up a message on the screen whenever you tell it to of your start time over here, so 5:35 p.m. for example. And it's going to pop up a message that says you should be in your seat by, and then it's going to count down for 60 seconds. So there'll be a little timer on the screen, and then at the end of that time, it's going to play an alert sound, and it's going to say time's up. And so, that's great. As a former band director, I would have used this to, once again, you should be in your seat by because students have to take a few minutes after the bell before they can be ready because they've got to put their instrument together. So the tardy bell doesn't necessarily, work as a great, you got to be in your seat by the tardy bell because they've still got to put their instrument together and get ready for class and all that. You can use these in all sorts of different ways. A lot of teachers are using these for like the pickup time at the end of the class or cleanup time, that sort of thing, just to pop up a little, 2-minute reminder right before the bell saying, hey, it's time to pack up. You can also use a reminder for this. A reminder is basically like a countdown timer. It's going to pop up at a certain time. It's going to last for however long you tell it to last for. It's just going to have a message, though. It's not going to actually count down with any sort of timer or anything. Auto music is also another fun automation feature. If you like having music in between your classes, this is a perfect way to do that. It's going to automatically pop up at a certain time. So once again, if you have to be out in the hallway monitoring students, but you want music going as they enter, well, Lesson Launchpad is going to automatically have that music pop up at the time that you tell it to pop up. and it's going to play it for however long you tell it to. That's what this duration is here for. It's going to play your playlist. The playlist is YouTube videos, and so you can have it showing the YouTube video, or you can just have it set to play the audio. Our final automation is Auto Happy Birthday, and it's what it sounds like. If you put in your students' birthdays to your class roster, it's going to, on their birthday, it's going to pop up a little message whenever you tell it during their class that says, Happy Birthday. Speaking of the class roster here, you can add a class roster to each class. You can use the class roster in one of the widgets, the randomizer widget. So I'm going to go to my beginning trombone sample class over here. Click Launch, go to Open Tool Widget, and one of them is the randomizer. So if I open up the randomizer and I click Start, you'll see there's my class roster. It's going to go through all the names, and eventually it's going to, hey, Stephanie, you're it. Yay, confetti. So different options here. You can get a random order of your class. You can create custom lists over here, like if you have spelling words or whatever sort of thing you want to use that for. All sorts of options there. Some of the other widgets here, you'll see we have the clock, timer, stopwatch. There's a little whiteboard that'll just pop up and kind of white out your screen. Notes, Spotify, point tracker, signal. I also want to point out that a lot of these have hotkeys. So if I'm in the middle of class and I need a 2-minute timer, all I'm going to do is press 2 on my keyboard, and it's going to automatically pop up a 2-minute timer and start counting down. Easy as that. So yeah, that's Lesson Launchpad. There's probably a lot more that I could go into here, but I just wanted to kind of give you a general idea of what it's all about.